and welcome everyone. So today's video is a makeup tutorial inspired by model and muse Penelope Tree. She was a really popular model in the 60s. She had a reputation for being one of the most beautiful women of the world of that time. She was really influential for a lot of young girls all over the world with her amazing style and unique appearance. She really had that hypnotizing look. She had these really big doll-like eyes that people just immediately fell in love with. And she also had a really unique fashion and makeup style. So I created this makeup look inspired by the wonderful Penelope Tree and her unique makeup. And if you want to see how I achieved this makeup look and you also want to learn a bit about the 60s muse Penelope Tree, just keep on watching. So per usual, all I've done so far was just apply a bit of skin tint to kind of really even out my skin. You can obviously do that, but you don't have to. I feel like for eyeshadow colors, Penelope was all about kind of more metallic colors. There were a lot of like earthy tones, like greens and browns, and also a lot of blues. So I'm gonna be using this little eyeshadow thing. As you can see, it's pretty. It's been through a lot, but I've got it gifted by a friend. It often happens when people like don't want to have their makeup anymore, they give it to me because they know that I just love to have a lot of different options and colors. And I feel like it's the most sustainable thing to use things that are already made and that someone already used. So I'm gonna use this, and the shape of eyeshadow that she applied was kind of a bit different. So I feel like her eyeshadow wasn't really as round as a lot of people did theirs in the 60s, but it kind of went out a little bit. But bear with me, I'm gonna show you how to achieve the perfect shape. I'm gonna start with this little brush because it's just a bit easier to line out what I want to do. So I'm gonna go in with a bit of eyeshadow and kind of start in here and then all the way up there, and then I'm just kind of taking it out like so. And now I'm just gonna color my entire lid with that color. Oh, I love this eyeshadow. It's so well pigmented. So as you can see, I'm just kind of going with the shape that I drew. Then I'm just taking it out a little bit, that, and a little bit down, like the tiniest bit. I really like that shape. Just gonna make sure that I have it saturated all the way until my lashes starts, because she wasn't really about a very thick eyeliner, so it's really important to make sure you have a nice covering eyeshadow. So now I'm just gonna do the exact same thing on the other eye. So I'm just gonna start like I did on the other eye, and I'm just gonna foreshadow what I want to do, kind of line out the shape, also to make sure that it's even. So if you've never heard of Penelope Tree before, she basically was a very well-known model in the 60s, and it's really funny because when she got her first pictures taken, her dad said he would sue the photographer if they were ever published. However, the pictures were published, and then she actually attended a very popular party, and the outfit that she wore was pretty legendary. I'm gonna put a picture right here, and that is what really launched her modeling career. I feel like she kind of embodied the perfect 60s girl with being really skinny, and she also had these like really doll-like features. The 60s were all about fresh faces, young looking girls, and I feel like she really embodied that. And what I really like about her is that she also went for a lot of darker colors and darker and heavier makeup, and even though she did a lot of matte looks too, I feel like she kind of had a bit more unique taste when it came to makeup. So from what it looks like, Penelope didn't really blend her eyeshadow or anything. It was a really clear cut. So what I'm gonna do now to accentuate it even more is to use another color, and I'm kind of gonna draw around the shape that I already created with the eyeshadow. So I'm gonna use this beautiful dark shade of blue, and I'm just gonna use this small angled brush. You have seen me use this brush so many times before, but I really love it. I think it's so useful. It is kind of angled, which makes it way easier to kind of rest your hand and then draw. I feel like that's sometimes a lot easier than having like a brush like this one, for example, where you kind of have to go like this. So if you don't have the steadiest hand, I would recommend you to try a brush like this one. Now I'm just gonna go around the shape. The only thing you kind of have to watch out for is to make it even, so kind of try to make the line the same thickness in every part. So yeah, as you can see, it just really adds another dimension to the eye, and now I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other eye. So I really love how this is looking so far. As said earlier, Penelope kind of wasn't about a thick eyeliner on her upper lash line. However, she was all about bottom lashes. This is kind of what really made me get into her makeup looks, because as you know, I really love to accentuate my bottom lashes as well. I feel like it's a very interesting look, and I just really love what she did. And from what I could tell, she often used a combination of eyeshadow, eyeliner, and fake lashes. So we are gonna do exactly that today. So today I really want to do a mixture of eyeliner and fake lashes. So the kind of twiggy lashes that she drew on, I feel like are really different from what the classic twiggy lashes look like. So if you've seen a lot of pictures, these classic twiggy lashes were kind of like triangular shaped and a bit thicker and kind of really short, while hers were really long and really thin. So that is what we're attempting to do today. So I have my eyeliner right here, and I'm just gonna try my best to draw on some lashes on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna start all the way out here, kind of very carefully draw a line like this. As you see, it's a bit longer and it's rather facing down than going out. So I'm gonna add another one in the middle. So yeah, kind of added one between the eyeshadow and the one that I already had. And so now I'm gonna add more of these little strings all the way underneath my lower lash line. I feel like the easiest is to just have a light hand and use a really good eyeliner. I also would highly recommend you to use a waterproof one, because from my experience, your eyes kind of tend to water a bit throughout the day, and if you don't use a waterproof one underneath your lower lash lines, you are really likely to end up with like a black eye. Because as soon as your eyes are even going to get the slightest bit teary, you are gonna have a big mess around your eyes. So I really love how this turned out, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other eye now. I'm kind of really nervous, and I think a lot of people are, because you really want to try your best to make this even. So just like on this side, I want to start with the one that's like the second one from out here. So I'm gonna attempt to do this. As you can see, this one kind of goes out a lot, so I'm gonna try and attempt the same shape. Yeah, that's pretty even. Now I'm gonna add the one between. I feel like the best tip is to just kind of really take your time and don't pressure yourself, it's gonna work out. I also find it helpful to use one finger to kind of stretch the skin. So now it's time to move on to the lashes and fake lashes. First of all, what you want to try to do is to get your eyelashes as fluffy and voluminous as possible. As said, Penelope, she naturally had really big eyes, but she also really accentuated them to achieve that 60s kind of doll-like look. So what I really like to use to achieve that kind of look are actually two sorts of mascara. I'm gonna use this one, which basically just is a lash foundation, and then I'm gonna go over it with this one, which is just a black color and coating. So I feel like this just really helps to voluminize your eyelashes and give you that 60s doll look. So what I really like to use to accentuate my lower lashes are these little lash things. They kind of come in sets of 3, and you can also take them apart. If you don't have anything like this and you just have like full fake lashes, what I recommend you to do is just cut them in little pieces. You could just use some tiny scissors for that, and it actually works really well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna take these apart so that I only have one string at the time to use. And I'm just really carefully gonna dip it in glue, blow on it to dry a little, and then apply it right out there. I'm gonna try to start in the outer corner of my eye, kind of like here. And now I'm just gonna repeat that all over my lower lash line. To me, applying these is actually easier and more difficult than applying full fake lashes at the same time. I feel like it's way easier with the placement because they're so tiny, like you can't really mess up the placing. However, it's kind of really hard to get them to stick to your eye because there's just not a lot of material. And like the part where you apply the glue is really, really tiny. So you kind of have to be really careful with it. So I'm just kind of trying to space them out on my lower lash line and kind of make it as even as possible. So as you can see, it really adds a lot of dramatic effects to the eye, and I really like it. I don't really think there's like a formula to how many pieces you should use or anything. I just kind of go with the flow, and now I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other eye. So I'm just gonna count how many of the eyelashes I applied on this side, and I'm gonna apply the same amount on the other side. So that's what my eyes look like now. I really, really like it. I feel like I'm done with the eye makeup. As you can see, it's still drying on some parts, but I feel like I'm good with it. And so now I'm gonna move on to the eyebrows. I feel like Penelope had really natural eyebrows, so that's what I'm gonna do. So to achieve that look, I'm just gonna use this little brush, and I'm just gonna use some eyeshadow. I've talked about this before. It's really hard to find ginger eyebrow product, and that is why I just use an eyeshadow that kind of has the color that my hair has. It just really works super well for me. Just gonna go and color in my eyebrows. Because I don't plot my eyebrows, they already have like a very natural shape because this is just what they come in. So I feel like that's always really handy for these kind of looks. I honestly feel like Penelope Tree kind of is a forgotten muse. Like, to me, she's a big muse, but I feel like a lot of people don't really think about her. She's kind of under a lot of people's radar, I feel like. And that's so sad because she was amazing. She is amazing. She's such a wonderful and inspiring fashion muse and makeup icon. I just really love all of her amazing looks. As said, I feel like she had a really, really unique look. So next up I'm gonna use this little comb and I'm just gonna brush out my eyebrows. Just like every proper 60s model, she also married a rock star. She actually married a member of the Beach Boys and moved to Australia. So now that I'm done with the brows, I feel like the look is almost complete. The last thing that I'm gonna do is to apply a little bit of blush on my cheeks to just really achieve that super youthful look. Speaking of youthful looks and young girls in the 60s and 70s, I was kind of thinking about making a video all on the topic of all of these really, really young girls being famous in the 60s and 70s. Also, maybe the topic of baby groupies. If you don't know what that is, these are basically groupies who were extremely young, like 12 or 13. And they were really sexually active with a lot of 70s rock stars. I honestly don't want to judge anyone, but I also feel like it's kind of an important topic because it's rarely discussed. So just leave a comment down below telling me if you would be interested in seeing a video like this. Because I haven't done a 60s, 70s inspired history video in a while, and I'm definitely planning on some for the future because I kind of really miss them. So last but not least, I'm gonna use some lipstick to just really have beautiful lips. I'm using this one, which has kind of this gloomy, really pretty, also metallic color, and I'm not gonna apply it all the way, but just like rather do little spots and then smudge it with my fingers because I feel like her lips were rather natural than having like a classic lipstick. So yeah, that's the finished look. This is my finished Penelope Tree inspired makeup. I love it. I really hope you like it too. I feel like it's so unique. It's kind of that other side of 60s. It's rather bohemian, almost kind of Bieber-esque. I feel like it is really unique, really beautiful, just like Penelope Tree. So I'm gonna put up some close-up shots now so you can properly see everything that I've done and the end result. that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love you to give it a thumbs up and maybe even share it with a friend. It supports the channel, it supports me, and it would mean a lot. I also just joined TikTok. I put up like little skits and little fun videos over there, so if you want to check that out, my name over there is at Emma Rosa Katharina, which is basically my name everywhere because it's just my birth name. It's what my parents decided to name me. But I'm also gonna link it in the description box below. I would love to be friends over there, so make sure to check that out. Please leave a comment down below telling me if you're interested in these 60s and 70s history videos and also in me talking about a bit more controversial topics of the 60s and 70s history, because I feel like they're really important to discuss. If there's any other 60s or 70s muse, actress, model, or musician you would like me to do a makeup look inspired by, just leave a comment down below telling me, because I would love to know which are your 60s and 70s muses and their amazing makeup looks. If you're interested in all things 60s and 70s, like the fashion, the pop culture, the people, the music, make sure to subscribe to this channel because I upload multiple videos every single week and I would just love to have you around. I hope you have an amazing day. Go out, enjoy the sunshine, take yourself some time to focus on you and your mental health today, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys!